Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Ruach HaKodesh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to brothers and down teaching, preaching, pushing this gospel. Good news to four corners of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. Greetings also to the few sisters that tune in to these video epistles very early here up in the hills in Jamaica. I'm not going to get any scriptures. I just woke up with this thought. Thought I'd just do a quick, just press the record button and do a quick video speaking about fear of the Lord. The true children of Israel see our power, whose name is Yahweh, his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. He's like rekindled and reawakened. His elect, refer to ourselves as the hopeful elect at this time, hoping to make it. Make it where? Make it into one of the chariots. We want to get out of here. And this wicked man, this devil in the earth, he's been used, calling himself the white man, the Edomite. He's being used and he doesn't realize it. But the hopeful elect have been awoken. The scripture speaks about the pure minds in Jude. And Peter says, though you once knew this, knew what? We knew of his awesome power because we were witnessing. This is the thought. I'm not sure what I call a lesson. Something like writing something here that the elect were witnesses or are witnesses of the power. And I've used some of these examples before. I'm going to use them again because it keeps playing over in my mind. The reason why some fear the Lord in the way that they fear him. It's real. His power is real to us. And all this playing around that is going on in the house of Israel. The scripture, 1 Peter 4:17. And the judgment will begin in the house. Because this fear that the children of Israel will elect have been awoken to, of our power. It's not been given to everyone. There's a lot of people they don't fear him. They do what they like, say what they like. They live anyhow they like. And they can't be reproved and corrected. They just carry on no matter what. And so I just jotted a couple of notes here I wanted to share. For example, Elisha with those she-bears who just appeared. Remember, I don't know if it's Elisha or Elijah, one of them, where they were being mocked because I think they had like a bald head and there was children mocking them. And out of nowhere, he cursed them. Out of nowhere came two ravenous she-bears and ripped 42 of these children to pieces. Just slaughtered them. And the thought in my mind is that some of us would have been witnesses, even eyewitnesses, to what had taken place. So the fear that we have is real. Although we read in Ecclesiastes 1:9, there's no new thing. And we know our minds is like a new slate. Each time we appear, there is something called reincarnation. Whether you understand or not, it's real. But this part of the brain, the part to fear the Lord within the elect, it's been awoken. We fear him, and it's for real. What about Abraham? I think it was Abraham who came up against the leadership of Moses and Aaron, saying, oh, how comes the Lord is only dealing with you? What about us? You've got all these able men here. We can do this, we can do that. They want to challenge the leadership. And then the earth opened up. The master said, Yahweh said to Moses and all of the children of Israel who were not with this man, get away from this man. I'm going to do something to him and all his company. And there was an earthquake. The earth opened up and swallowed them. Can you imagine hearing the yelling and the screaming as the earth crunched up all of their bones and closed back around hundreds, I think there's 250 of them. All of their families, just because they dared to come against the leadership of our power. And what I'm saying is, I hope that I can't speak, it's very early, I can't say too loud. But we would have witnessed this. Likewise, what about Miriam when she came up? This is Moses' sister. It was Miriam and Aaron, and the Most High struck her with leprosy. Her skin became white as snow. Some of us was there in the camps. We would know it. If you understand what I'm getting at, some of us would have been there in our previous lives, so you understand. And this part of our memories of seeing and being a witness to the power is being reignited. And so we don't play with this thing. We realize just what we're dealing with and who we're dealing with. What about the night of the Passover, when the death angel was passing over and people were dying, animals were dying? Some of us would have been there and heard the yelling and screaming and the loss of life. Imagine how many hundreds, thousands, I don't know how many people and animals died. Imagine all the yelling and screaming, the blood. Ezekiel 9:4 says, don't spare anyone, don't spare anyone. Men, women, young women. What about all those battles with the Maccabees? I mean, I'm jumping over there, so many. All those battles where they got help from the angels, just appeared and slaughtered hundreds and thousands of people. This is the power that we serve, and there's people messing around. That's because this part of their brain has not been reactivated to fear the Lord. It's not just words. We can read the scriptures here. They're all over the place. Deuteronomy 32, was it 32, 39? Was it Isaiah 45:7 tells you that the Lord creates good and evil. But we read them. It doesn't mean anything to a lot of people. There's so many of these scriptures in Esdras all over the place that speaks about the power and might, and that you should fear the Lord. But they've not been entered into this heritage, the heritage of those that fear his name. I think that's Psalms 61, maybe 4 or 5. I'm not going to go to any of these. What about Antiochus and all of what he was getting? Look at the terrible death that he suffered. The master brought the incurable disease on him and really messed him up. And over this happening in the scriptures. The point I'm making in this lesson is that some of us would have been witnesses to some of this awesome power and judgment being meted out amongst our own. The heathens, of course, they get what they get, but amongst us, and yet right now there's people who they're just not listening. They can't be told. What about all of the wars of King David? Imagine being on one of in his army, on his team, so to speak, and going out and seeing after Yahweh Hashem. I told him, yes, go up. I'm going to give them into your hands. Imagine being on the army and seeing the might of the angels doing what? The work. And you're standing there, all these people just being totally annihilated in front of you. And then, of course, what about the miracles? Which those are miracles, but what about the miracles of people regaining the functions of their body, their eyes? They can hear, they can see, they can, and all what Yahweh had done. And then what about all of the apostles and their mighty works recorded in Acts and then Paul, people being brought back to life? The point of the lesson, this thought that was in my mind that I'm sharing, that some of us was there, and it's this part of our memory has been reawoken to fear the Lord. So I'm going to stretch the lesson. It's just a thought. Hopefully I can come back and do another lesson, hopefully in the day, with this thought of being actual eyewitnesses to the awesome might and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is what was playing in my mind. Lord willing, we are of that number to see this thing to the end. We're approaching the end, brothers and sisters. I'm seeing all sorts of things in my mind, I don't even have to be sleeping. I'll just wake up and seeing all kind of things happening. We just know it can't be much longer now. So I'm going to wrap up the lesson there. I'm not sure what I call it. We're witnesses of his power or something like that. But we don't fear man. We fear Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, for real. Shalom. Until the next lesson. God bless you all.